Now I'm not going to tell you that melee in Warzone 2 is easy, but it is becoming viable. So I decided to make an updated melee tutorial. And that has nothing to do with the fact that my previous tutorials perform much better than my average video and pull in a lot more subscribers than usual. No. It's because I want to help you become the best version of yourself in Warzone 2. And also make people pretty angry.
NuclearDonut's a piece of shit, I hope he dies. And then gets raped by a fucking dog.
Hey, toasted man, toasted.
What do you mean get toasted, you shit cunt?
You got toasted, I 1v5'd you on it.
I will slap your face.
Get a job, you fuck. Like, fuck me, you sound like you're benefits, bro.
So now I'm going to teach you how to play melee in Warzone 2. But first, let me show you how it looks when you master melee.
You see that big boy with the skull face, and you're not gonna start sweating? I'm not gonna see him. You're right, you won't see him. It's too late if you see him, you're fucking dead already.
Or down. Stunned him in there. Execute him.
I'm it.
I get the gun in the back. Down, I love throwing knives so much. Down. Down to both. Good. Yep. Killed his mate. Oh. I jumped over mine, executed him. Dead. Dead. Boss! Let's just jump right into it. You're going to need this, although this might change as more melee weapons get added to the game, but right now this is what we're using. These and these. Now as far as perks, this is the setup that I'm currently using. Now feel free to mix and match any of these perks to your own tastes, but I've done a lot of testing and this is the build that works best for me. And finally, equip your favourite execution and you are ready to go. Now because this is Warzone 2, we've also got to consider the backpack system. This is the layout I like to have in game, so I have 4 spare stuns on top of the 2 that are already equipped, and the rest of my backpack space is just full of armor plates. Now how do you get enough stuns to put in your backpack like I did just there? So there's a few ways. Number 1, you can loot them from the ground or dead players. Number 2, you can buy them from buy stations. Number 3, you can replenish them with munitions boxes or ammo depots. And finally, we have resupply on as a perk, so they'll naturally regenerate after 30 seconds. So, once you get 2 stuns, stow those in your backpack and wait for the next 2. Stun throwing is an art form. Sometimes you gotta bank it off the floor. Sometimes you gotta bank it off the wall. And sometimes you just gotta throw it right at them. It all depends on the distance of the enemy. Now, stuns typically last for around 2 seconds, so you need to act fast. That is the main thing with this playstyle. Stun, and take them out quick before the stun wears off. The purpose of the stun is to first immobilize the enemy, but also to close the gap between you and them so you can get close enough to take them out. It's possible that that first stun won't be enough to get you close enough, so you may have to stun them again. Be careful when choosing your moment to throw the stun, because when doing so, you become vulnerable for a short period of time, and this can be enough for the enemy to take you out if you don't choose your time correctly. Ideally, throw the stun when they stop shooting, and never throw a stun if you're low health. Now if you see this symbol pop up, it means they've got battle hardened. In that case, the stun's pretty much useless against them. That being the case, you're going to have to take them out another way, be it throwing knives, using the shield, or just rushing them with the swords. It's also important to note, once you've used the 2 stuns that you have equipped, you'll have to jump into your backpack and re-equip the spare ones. This won't happen automatically. When the player is actually stunned, don't run directly at them. Run around them in an arc shape. It makes it harder for them to track you. When you are arcing around the enemy to take them out, make sure you swap to your sword so that you run faster. However, make sure that the stun goes off before putting the shield away, otherwise you'll just stun yourself. Throwing knives are my primary weapon. The fact that they have one-shot potential means that they are the most effective way to take out players quickly. So, while your shield is out, you want to line up your crosshair with where you intend to throw the knife. When the game first came out, there was a nerf that introduced a delay when throwing the knife if you had your Riot Shield out. To counteract this, sprint forwards at the same time you throw and you won't suffer this delay. As you can see from this slow-mo, running and throwing is significantly faster than just throwing with the Riot Shield. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the throwing knives have a one-shot potential. If you hit the player in the chest or head, they'll go down in one shot. If you hit them somewhere else, it'll take 2 shield bashes or 1 hit with the swords to down them. If a player is moving, be sure to lead your throwing knife. Aim where you expect them to be, not where they currently are. And also, don't be afraid to go for long-range throwing knives. These things can still be used like a sniper if you aim correctly. Just take your time. And hey, even if your knife falls short, don't forget, bank shots are still a thing. Oh my god! That's about all there is to tell you, and the best way to learn is really to just practice. But check out some of my cleanest throwing knives to get an idea of how it should look. Check this out, check this out. Whew! See, look how easy it is, boys. And then I can shoot him in the head with my swords, so it's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Oh, cracked him!
Ooh.
Downed him. Oh, downed.
Fuck's sake!
Oh, I downed him with that knife! Oh, downed him!
Yes! With the Riot Shields, bro. Fuck. like the fucker's gonna fucking bounce off there in real life.
He's salty too. And the best part is, they never see it coming.
What?
At the time of recording, there aren't many useful movement mechanics for this playstyle. I don't recommend sliding because it exposes your legs. However, here's one strat to help you close the gap between you and the enemy. It's called the shield dive. Sprint forwards with the swords to gain speed, then swap weapon, and dive just after, and it'll look like this. It's my alternative to slide cancelling. It gives you that dash forwards, while still mostly protecting you with the shield. When covering ground, run with the swords because they're faster. If you know there's going to be enemies around, you should always have your shield out. You can also slide and stab with the swords to get a bit more range if needed. Just be aware, you can only attack towards the end of the slide. Obviously the Riot Shield blocks bullets, so it should always be pointing towards the enemy gunfire. Your crosshair should be on the player who's shooting at you to make sure you're avoiding bullets. However, if the person gets up in your face and starts moving quickly, you should overshoot this crosshair. This is because the third person model doesn't quite keep up with the first person model in the way that you see. Take a look at this clip for example. To avoid the bullets, I'm aiming the crosshair just in front of where the person is. Just be aware that just because the Riot Shield looks like it's protecting you in first person, it isn't necessarily doing that in third person. Here's a clip where on my screen it looked like I was safe and protected by the Riot Shield. But as you can see by the enemy's perspective, the Riot Shield wasn't in front of me just yet. People will throw everything they can at you to take you out when they see you using a Riot Shield. If you get stuck with anything, you're basically dead. So move quickly if you see them about to throw something. Don't give them the chance. If an explosive lands near you, aim the Riot Shield at it so you don't take any damage, but do so quickly and then immediately swap back to looking at the player who's shooting at you. Now you can actually run and reposition with the shield to your side and still block bullets. So take a look at this clip. High alert shows me that there's people pointing at me to the right, so I run with the shield pointing to the right. That way I'm still covering ground and blocking bullets at the same time. You need to know what to prioritise. Here, I down a player with the knife. I stun the other so he can't hit me, but instead of killing the player still up, I finished the downed one because I saw that he had a self-revive.
See kids.
You'll notice the exact same thing in this clip. I was careful in which person to prioritise in which moment.
I got hurt pretty bad.
If somebody gets in your face, you might have to just bash them with the shield. Sometimes they'll go down in 3 hits, sometimes 5. It's also good to know you can stab underwater, but players can't shoot. If someone's camping a building with a claymore, open the door and bank the stun off it to stun the player. While they're stunned, use the shield to blow up the claymore, then take them out. Throwing knives are the quickest way to dispatch downed players. Now, let's apply everything that we've learnt in this video in this 1v2 situation. Aim at the Semtex so it doesn't hurt me. Bank the stun off the floor because they're close. Knife the one at the back so I can focus on his friend. Shield bash because we're close. Retreat because we're low health. Replenish stuns. Throw a knife the one at the back. Stun his friend. Replenish stuns. Stun the downed one in case he got up. Slide and stab. Keeping the shield out because we know he's close. Replenish stuns. Where is this last guy? Bingo. Bank the stun off the floor because they're close. Arc round him with the swords. Execute. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I hope you learnt something. I hope it was useful. If you did enjoy the video, drop me a sub. If you got any questions at all, leave it in the comments down below and I'll be sure to respond to every single question. Peace out.
You probably think you're feeling better off without me, and then I pull up in a Benz, you're like fuck. I bet you go to sleep and then you dream about me. Don't try to lie, you know you miss me.